Michael, athletes are human and blips happen, but how concerned are you as a group about the recent game management and the nature of the goals that you've conceded?
Yeah, of course, it would be, I think, remiss of us not to be concerned about it. We went through it with the squad yesterday, aspects of, the game on Wednesday, and that followed a little bit of a pattern from Saturday as well. So we've been through that with the squad. We've done some work on it today and training as well. But look, we've got to get back to winning games. The squad know that. I know that. And tomorrow's game gives us the opportunity to do that. I think, as I said many times, not to get too high when we're going well, and equally not to get too low when we have had a difficult time. And we're in a little bit of a difficult time at the minute. But as I say, the only way we can get out of that is be consistent in our approach and in our mentality to the game. I felt our attitude to the game has been fine. I felt Wednesday night we probably didn't display as much as we would have liked in the first half of the game, but certainly the attitude at half time and going forward was exactly what we're looking for. And we need that again tomorrow.
Well, I know you're not too concerned about Cardiff's woes, but they've lost their last 8 and they'll be low on confidence themselves. They'll have a point to prove as well to whoever's going to be the new manager. But they use the long throw and they've got a good physical presence. It won't be easy, will it?
No, it's never an easy game. They've had a difficult period, obviously, that has come on the back of, they had a decent start. I think they were unbeaten the first 4 league games. So then they've had a difficult period post that. And I think that, when there's a change of manager, it sort of maybe brings other people into the equation who weren't playing or hadn't been playing in recent times. But we don't envisage anything dramatic in terms of what they'll do. Their personnel are still the same. Steve Morrison's in charge. He'll come in, he's worked with the under 23, so it's not like he's come in from outside the club either. So we would expect a lot of consistencies in what they do. But yeah, I think against Cardiff, you have to defend your box. The ball will come into your box at every opportunity, from, as you rightly say, from dead ball situations, from long throws in particular. They have a big physical presence. But our focus has to be on how we play as well, and we have to make sure that we're good with the ball, because that means that we get the type of game that we want. And if we get that type of game, then hopefully we can show our quality, and that will allow us to win the game.
You'll obviously be hoping for a return to the self-belief that you had a few matches ago, and the problem seems to have been that you haven't been able to press home any advantage. I mean, in the last 8 games, you've dropped 10 points following scoring first. Obviously, something that's got to be ironed out.
Yeah, look, it is a concern that, when we've gone ahead, particularly the last 2 away games where we've been ahead, probably even more than that if you take Preston into consideration. And, we've been ahead and unfortunately we haven't managed to win the game. There's a bit of game management in that, and we have to learn from that. Possibly a little bit of maybe inexperience at times has led to that, but we're disappointed with the nature of that. A big part of the championship is grinding out results, and so we have to develop that as part of our makeup and find a way to do that as well, because I think we've played some excellent football this season, and possibly maybe haven't got the results that's warranted. But there's other sides to your character that you need to show. And as I say, tomorrow's game will certainly test us.
Well, whilst you say you need to iron out the defensive errors, the table's still very tight, isn't it? I mean, you've got 1 point separating 8 teams, and your home form's been good apart from the last 2 games. So it's just important to find a way of winning again. Yeah,
look, we're going to lose games. It's the nature of the league. It always is heightened when they come together, as they have done in the previous in the last 3 games. But you're right, we've been good at home. We were lucky in the last home league game against Bournemouth to lose the game. So we have to go and continue with how we've played at home this season, which has been on the front foot. Played some excellent football, and make sure that we hammer home an advantage and take more of the chances that we're creating as well. And as I say, that's what our focus has been on this week, and I believe we'll see that in our performance tomorrow.
Sport's far more a test of character than technique when you're under pressure, and you'll be looking for those characters you say you've got in the team to provide the steel and do the ugly things that are needed and support the younger players who might not be as battle hardened as you want them to be.
No, but that's part of the process of being a player, you know, and this, you test it in this league mentally, I think, because you have to play so often as well for some of the younger players as well. But we have good senior players in our group. We've spoken about this on many occasions, and but the young players have to step up as well. And this is what we need to see. As I say, we have to, you know, find a way to maybe get a couple of ugly 1-0 wins, and that you know, resolution when you're ahead in the game to make sure that you win the game as well. It's something that we have to continue to work on as well.
How are we on the injury front?
Still obviously without Nick Powell, Morgan Fox, Sam Clucas is a doubt, and Alfie Doughty is unavailable as well. He has a hip injury.
Joe Allen, okay?
Joe's fine, yeah. Joe's fine. Everyone else is good.
No reaction from Seamer and Campbell from playing?
No, none at all. No, they were both fine.
Great. Well, finally from me, did Wednesday throw any players into the mix that you might not have thought of with the next game in view?
I think that they're always in the mix, to be honest. I mean, like the squad, we made 5 changes, but when I look at the changes that we made, they're all players that could start game for us. They have started games for us on a regular basis. Maybe D'Amico less so, but he's come in and, you know, he played in the league game against Hull and for us as well when Tommy was unavailable with suspension. So yeah, I think you know, the squad that we have, they train together every day, so they're always in with the opportunity to play. And you know, we reviewed the game back, and you know, as I say, we'll pick a team tomorrow that we believe can win the game, of course.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Michael, obviously, as you already alluded to, the Championship is an unforgiving league, and we've seen that, of course, and with the departure of Mick McCarthy last weekend. But as you've already alluded to as well, Steve Morison is coming in charge. So do you think that he will change dramatically from what Mick McCarthy used to set up when he was in charge?
No, I don't think so. I think that, you know, it's the same personnel. They can't change players. Essentially, maybe as an under-23s coach, he may look at some of the, you know, he'd be more familiar with some of the younger players that they have at their club, but he may not feel that this is the right time to introduce them either. You know, they're in a difficult period. So I think, you know, they'll rely heavy on the experienced players that they have. Might see 1 or 2 of those experienced players who have not played in recent weeks come back into the start 11. We kind of expect that, and you know, they're a strong physical team. I don't think they'll be able to change anything dramatically in terms of how they play. They may play a different system, but as I say, you know, our focus rather is on ourselves and our level of performance, and that's where our focus has been. We can't really second guess what they or may not do. And nor should we focus on that either, you know. So we're comfortable with the situation and look forward to the game.
And certainly there have been times within the season so far where you've had good performances over 45, maybe 60 minutes. You're looking for that extension, aren't you? A real 90-minute performance.
Well, yeah, look, I don't, you know, we've allowed teams back into games when we've been ahead. That's been, you know, the biggest disappointment so far. Haven't been ahead in games, particularly away from home. It hasn't happened very much at home at all, but away from home. So that's something that we have to obviously address, and we have to be better away from home and stronger in those situations to not concede and you know, take the advantage that we have and go forward and win the game. In terms of our home form, you know, we've been excellent really. Leaving the cup game aside, obviously Bournemouth are the only team to come and beat us. I think we were unfortunate on the night not to take something from that game. And you know, that's what we need again, that level of performance at home that we've seen consistently this season, in terms of winning 3 points tomorrow.
But it's a big learning curve for the younger players, and they've taken to it, apart from maybe the odd time in games. They've taken to it well, Michael, haven't they?
Well, yeah, look, you know, young players will make mistakes, but senior players make mistakes as well. It's not, I wouldn't focus too much on that. What we are getting is like a number of younger players with getting a lot of championship minutes under their belts, which is all part of their development. But they're in the team because they deserve to be in the team, in my opinion. Their level of performance will keep them in the team as well. Equally, their level of performance can mean that they go out of the team. So we're here to pick a team to win games, not just develop players. That's part of it, and the team is developing all the time. But we're at a stage now where the focus is making sure that we win games.
It's all about balance, and from time to time you haven't had that continuity you've liked, but are you fairly striking a balance in the areas you want to, Michael?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we've got, we've been consistent with our system. We've played different variations of three at the back. I think that suits our players, the players that we have within the club and the players that we brought to the club. We probably haven't found a partnership in terms of strikers yet, but I think injury has made that difficult for us because we've never had everyone fit at the one time to review that, and that's probably where the area of the team where there's still the most scope, I believe, for improvement. We essentially have four young strikers, with Stephen obviously being the experienced one as well. And as I say, as the season progresses, hopefully we'll find the right formula there as well.
But you're capable of going on a run despite the recent run of defeats. You're capable of building again, aren't you? And as you say, the league is like this. It throws up different chances in many ways, doesn't it, Michael?
Yeah, look, we have a challenge. We 3 games a week that we come into off the back in a really good place off the previous international week. So, we don't need to keep discussing it. We move forward to the next game. I think that's the key, is to get back on a positive run, on a winning run. And that will come. I have no doubts with that. We get the opportunity tomorrow, a team that is obviously in a difficult position, but they'll be fighting for their lives as well. So we have to make sure that our win the game and our approach to win the game is higher than theirs, and that our quality in the end will shine through.
Joe Burzik, of course, making 2 amazing saves towards the end of the Brentford game, keeping the side in the game. You must be impressed with him as well too. Yeah,
look, Joe's an excellent young keeper. He had a poor game at Derby and was left out, but he's reacted in the right way, and he's come back into the starting team for the last 2 games. I thought the other night he made some very good saves, as you say. We had to gamble in the later stages of the game and leave ourselves a little bit open, but he did well in 2 one-on-one situations, and he is very good in that situation. So he's just got to continue in the vein of form that he's in, continue to improve and hard. And I think he's got a lot of potential as a young goalkeeper.